Only the dead have seen the end of war. Plato. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Plato. The beginning is the most important part of the work. Plato. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. Plato. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Plato. Love is a serious mental disease. Plato. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Plato. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. Plato. You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. Plato. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. Plato. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. Plato. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. Plato. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. Plato. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Plato. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something. Plato. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Plato. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. Plato. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Plato. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. Plato. Do you desire to be Holy One, always day and night in one another's company? For if this is what you desire, I am ready to melt and fuse you together, so that being to you shall become one, and while you live a common life as if you were a single man, and after your death in the world below still. Last quote: her still be one departed soul, instead of two. Plato. If you are willing to reflect on the courage and moderation of other people, you will find them strange. They all consider death a great evil, and the brave among them face death when they do, for fear of greater evils. Therefore, it is fear and terror that make all men brave, except for philosophers. Yet it is illogical to be brave through fear and cowardice. What of the moderate among them? Is their experience not similar? They master certain pleasures because they are mastered by others. I fear this is not the right exchange to attain virtue, to exchange pleasures for pleasures, pains for pains, and fears for fears, the greater for the less, like coins. But that the only valid currency for which all these things should be exchanged is wisdom. Plato. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Plato. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. Plato. Desires are only the lack of something, and those who have the greatest desires are in a worse condition than those who have none, or very slight ones. Plato. If women are expected to do the same work as men, we must teach them the same things. Plato. Ignorance, the root and the stem of every evil. Plato. Laws are partly formed for the sake of good men, in order to instruct them how they may live on friendly terms with one another, and partly for the sake of those who refuse to be instructed, whose spirit cannot be subdued, or softened, or hindered from plunging into evil. Plato. Man is a tame or civilized animal. Nevertheless, he requires proper instruction and a fortunate nature, and then of all animals he becomes the most divine and most civilized. But if he be insufficiently or ill-educated, he is the most savage of earthly creatures. Plato. No human thing is of serious importance. Plato.